All fours. Stay dry, fellas.
Welcome to ESPN's College Football. We are back on campus. Tonight, the Oregon State Beavers take on the number 3 ranked LSU Tigers. All season, ESPN Saturday Night College Football will be broadcast in high definition, presented by Phillips and Best Buy. Well, this is a live shot of Tiger Stadium, and we are just moments away from getting this one started. But in case you just joined us, this is what happened just about an hour ago. It had been hot, it had been sunny, and then, a monsoon came down. And what was a very dry field that had been protected from the rains yesterday, everybody, including the Golden Girls and their new uniforms, everybody got drenched. And we had a heck of a rainstorm. Then it got a little dangerous because it was lightning, and the officials quickly headed to the locker room. They got the band off the field. They sent the kids to the locker room, the football players, and that is how we have been in a holding pattern, which started at about 5 minutes before 5 o'clock. We were very close to kickoff, didn't get there. Now we plan on it. Mike Gottfried, what kind of difference does this make in the football game for both teams, and who does it favor?
Yeah, I don't think much of a difference, Ron. They still have to protect Derek Anderson, the quarterback. Now, defensive backs might slip a little bit, so Oregon State may get an advantage from their passing game. LSU does too.
Well, as you can tell, the crowd still ready to whoop it up as head coach Saban brings his team onto the field. And let's take a look and a listen. Mike, we talked about how many kids are returning on this football team. One that is a new position, Marcus Randall, the quarterback. How difficult is it on him? Now, Anderson is a veteran quarterback, and he's been a starter for a long time. For Marcus, wet conditions, wet football, a little bit more of a strain on him. It has to be a little bit more focus.
He's waited 5 years. Another 40 minutes is not going to affect him. He needs to get off to a good start, though, because confidence is important. He's 2-4 as a starting quarterback at LSU, but I still think he's going to have a good game.
Mike, let me ask you this. If you're one of these head coaches and you go into the locker room and you talk it over with your offensive and defensive coordinators, do you really change your strategy very much, or you just stick with what you've been working on since the beginning of training camp?
Yeah, it's like the outside games you used to playing in a kid. As a kid would go home and he would, you'd have to wait till he came back from dinner. So that's all they're doing right now. They're ready to go. They're focused. Same game plans. Everything's the same.
Nick Saban, and I'll tell you what, he came out about an hour before the team started to warm up, and this stadium went absolutely nuts. The kids treat him and view him as deity. As you take a look across the way, Mike Riley and the Beavers of Oregon State as they take the field. And we saw several of their kids when they came out and the rains were beginning to start, and they were pointing toward the sky and they were applauding like, yeah, hey, we played in this stuff many, many times up in the great Northwest, and it's not a new situation for us.
Plus, they're Beavers. They like the water.
Well, we got plenty of that here this evening. So Jay Vines, the referee, and here is the toss of the coin. So LSU receives. I believe Oregon State did win the toss, and they deferred until the second half, which is exactly what the situation is. And Mike Riley, the fine young head coach for the Beavers of Oregon State. You see his record, 97-98. Went off to the pros, and his record last year, 8-5. And as you can see the graphic, 1999 and 2000 coached in the pros, and then decided to come back up to Oregon State University. You know, Mike, sun is out. The youngsters from Oregon State had just gotten off the bus, and they came out, and you see there are 3 young men who decided to go out, and they started to dance on the eye of the tiger in the middle of the stadium. Well, in the far background, that's the student section of LSU. They took great exception to it. Now, I don't even know if the LSU team knows that happened, and it's not important. But I remember we conversed at the time, and sometimes you let a sleeping dog lie. You don't do anything to get them any more fired up than they already are.
Not a good idea.
Number 10, Joseph Adai, junior out of Houston Sharpstown, and Skylar Green, the two deep men. Cerna will kick it off for Oregon State. And we're about 50 minutes behind, but we're underway. High end over end, short kick. And on the run, it is gathered at the 12 by Skylar Green. Fumbles the ball, recovered, I believe. Let's see. Oregon State football at the 25. Keith Ellison made the recovery.
Wet field, wet ball. Oregon State's got tremendous field position. Just as he starts up the field, got a good hit. He just dropped the football.
Chess Scott is the man who got the shoulder pad on it right there. Got an arm in and knocked it out. And let's see if the Oregon State Beavers can take advantage of the turnover on the opening kickoff by the LSU Tigers. They're going to throw on first down. Anderson goes on top, near sideline, and the ball is overthrown and incomplete. Travis Daniels with the cover. George Gillette, the intended receiver. Good job of the offensive line of protecting, and there is a flag down. Offensive pass interference against Oregon State.
May have called it on George Gillette, number 6. See him come out of his break. Pushing, uses his hands against Travis Daniels.
So a mistake by LSU to open the ball game with the fumble by Skylar Green. And then the pass interference, and this will push the ball back to the 40-yard line. But still, they're on the LSU side of the 50, which is a good start on the road, Mike.
Yeah, Derek Anderson has thrown 50 career touchdown passes.
27th consecutive start for him. 6'6", 240 pounds. Haynes, the tight end, shifts from the right over to the left. Now the flag comes in. And the crowd obviously was a factor there.
Dead ball. First start, number 61 on the offense. 5 yards, remaining first down.
Adam Coates, who is the farthest man from the quarterback and the center. The left tackle is the man who was in motion.
And Ron will watch that left side, the Oregon State's offensive line, because they're brand new, and if they need to protect Derek Anderson.
Anderson went to the sideline to visit with his coaches. Now the penalty moves it back to the 45. So it's going to be first down and 30 for Oregon State. They need to take it down to the 15-yard line. Flag comes from down deep, and they're going to be called for delay of game. Although the pass was thrown complete to Haas, they used too much time.
Dead ball, delay of game. On the 14, on the offense. 5 yards, remaining first down.
I talked about this last week. It's very difficult now the start of the ball game to get used to neutral officials or the SEC officials when you come out of the Pac-10. They've already started the ball a little bit faster than they're used to.
So already 3 penalties for 25 yards against the Beavers. From the 50. Anderson, quick pass right across the middle, has it complete to Dwight Wright, breaks off a tackle, 40, 35, and it's going to be muscled out of bounds at the 32, but it's a gain of 18 yards. And tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Bridgestone. Dwight Wright, who just cost the pass, is the tailback. Marcel Love is the slot back. Newton, the tight end. Gillette and Haas are the wide receivers. Up front with the offensive line. Coates Linehan, Brock, Schuning, and Ninehouse. Two tight in alignment. After that gain of 18, now it's second down at about 17. LSU showing blitz, but they stay at home. Pass to the short side of the field. That's complete to Haynes. The tight end's going to take it inside to 25, inside to 20, and it's going to be a gain now of 12. So 30 yards in the last two plays. Turn around the tackle. Defensively, Spears, Roten, Kyle Williams, and Melvin Oliver. The linebackers, Turner, who just made the tackle. He's the veteran. Cameron Vaughn, and Quale is a junior college transfer out of Dodge City. In the secondary, Webster and Travis Daniels may be as good a corners as college football has. LaRon Landry is a very hard-nosed free safety. Jesse Daniels, the strong safety. Third down, they need to take it to the 15-yard line. Good job of protection again, and the pass is thrown complete and pushed out of bounds at the 11 is George Gillette. Now that is a smart job by Travis Daniels, because rather than trying to be over-aggressive and getting misfooting on that wet turf, he broke down and was there just to put a hat on him and push him.
You bring up a good point, because the defense is at a disadvantage on a wet field, because you can't make a mistake, slip down, and fall down. Travis Daniels did just that. The offense of Oregon State taking advantage of the defense right now.
Mike, they have the first down. The ball was way back at the 50-yard line, and they took it inside the 15. First down, pressure was on. Pass is caught right over the middle at the 6-yard line, and that's where Joe Newton will be tackled. Nice defensive pressure. Landry coming up to help on the tackle.
LSU trying to shake up Derek Anderson, bringing the blitz. You see the linebackers both coming right here. Can't get to Derek Anderson, and Joe Newton is 6'7". He's got to have a big game for Derek Anderson to win this football game.
It was Kyle Williams who was applying pressure. Yeah, we watched video yesterday, Mike, with you, and the tight ends, an integral part of this Oregon State offense, and you're right. They are huge. Second down from the 6-yard line, no score, but the Beavers are threatening. Straight in the pocket, Anderson drills the pass in the end zone, incomplete as it's knocked away. Throwing into triple coverage, Haynes Newton couldn't hold on to the football. One of the guys there again was Landry.
Have not run the football yet. They're going to win this football game throwing it, catching it. There's no Steven Jackson. 25 touchdowns he scored last year. He's gone.
Mike, LaRon Landry came from the backside and reached in and stripped that ball. Otherwise, that would have been a touchdown. Third down, and they need to take it to the 1 to hold on to the football. Short drop, quick pass, end zone, touchdown, Oregon State. That's George Gillette. Boy, give credit to the offensive line. Coates, Linehan, Brock, Schuning, and Ninehouse. And I mean, they gave him the protection that he needed, and he drilled it for the 6 points.
Pretty good quarterbacking, too. Derek Anderson, very impressive in that first drive, making up for all those penalties.
Cerna comes in to attempt the extra point. Not real high. He hit the upright, and it bounces back onto the field of play. He misses it. Boy, the wet conditions take their toll on the first extra point of the night. So let's take a timeout. 12:08 to play, opening quarter. Oregon State on top first, 6-0.
And the wheel goes round, 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 round.
So the Oregon State cheerleaders, they're not bothered by the wet weather here in Baton Rouge. They got a lot to cheer about. Their team came right down the field, and it looked as though, Mike, they were going to not take advantage of a very good situation. They got penalties from the 25 all the way back to the 50-yard line and still came back, picked up the first, and marched it on into score.
LSU's speed on defense has been affected by this wet field.
Yeah.
They're not as fast. They're tentative on moving in the secondary.
Skylar Green, along with Joseph Adai, the two deep men. Cerna kicks it off. Very high, and again, it's short. It's going to come to Adai at the 15. Joe Adai Back into the middle, across the 25 to the 26. And let's check down on the sideline with Aaron Andrews. Aaron.
Hi, Ron. Well, I spoke to head coach Mike Riley of Oregon State as he was walking out from the locker room. He said they kept it very calm in there during the rain delay. He also said, thank goodness for the rain because it's cooled off considerably. He said the team has practiced some wet ball drills during the summer. The unfortunate thing is it was never muddy when they practiced it, so that could be interesting for Oregon State. Ron?
Well, they'll get an opportunity tonight, Aaron, because it's wet and it is muddy. Straight ahead with a handoff and hit immediately Justin Vincent as Keith Ellison comes from his strong linebacking side. And the starting lineups brought to you by Bridgestone. Vincent and Steltz in the backfield. David Jones, the tight end. Bo and Scotter Green, the wide receivers. Scotter Green not 100%. He's got a high ankle sprain, which we'll talk more about. Whitworth and Wilkerson, both All-American preseason candidates. Will Arnold is the new face, the guy at left guard. Niswanger and Nate Livings on the right side at guard and at tackle. And there he is, Marcus Randall, a 5-year senior. But the first time it's been his ball club. Ball is thrown and it is intercepted. Picked off by Pescatelli as the ball was tipped. And the pressure from Joe Lima is what caused it to happen. And hang on. The Tiger defense is going to have to batten the hatches because right now the Beavers trying to blow this thing open early.
You never should have thrown this football. You talked about the pressure from Joe Lima. Pescatelli sitting on the route right here, and he throws it wide. David Jones was the intended target, but Marcus Randall, that's not what you want to get him off to a good, confident start to happen.
First, they took it over at the 25 of LSU. After this turnover, they get it at the 23. And Anderson to throw on first down right over the middle. Well overthrown on that one. In fact, the closest person to it was Corey Webster, the cornerback on the far side. I think Anthony Wheat Brown might have been the intended receiver.
Ron, I talked to Derek Anderson before the game, and he talked about he's from Scappoose, Oregon. He said, I asked him, how big is Scappoose, Oregon? He said, as big as that student body, pointing to the side of the stadium. So not a big town, but I'll tell you, he was ready to go.
Only needs one touchdown pass to become second on the all-time list for the Beavers. They go with Wright. Straight ahead. He'll take it for a couple of yards, maybe 3 to the 20. Tripped up by Kyle Williams.
The run will only be used as a weapon to keep and set up the passing game. If they're going to win this football game, they're going to win it through the air.
Mike, I think that is their first run.
First run.
Marcel Love comes into the lineup, number 16. Keep an eye on him. Speedster out of San Francisco Community College. LSU, here they come with the blitz on the open side of the field, right over the middle. The ball is intercepted, and that's going to be picked off by LaRon Landry, the outstanding sophomore free safety out of Ama, Louisiana. And that's a ball that never should have been thrown either.
If there's one knock on Derek Anderson, he forces some footballs, and he gets some interceptions. He's trying to go to Joe Newton, 89, but he gets pressure, and he threw off his back foot. He never got set.
Kyle Williams again, Mike, and he's come with a couple of pressures already tonight. Smart thing by Landry is with the wet field, instead of trying to cut it upfield, take it out of bounds and get the ball safely at the 20.
24 interceptions last year for Derek Anderson. Not a good throw.
Justin Vincent, the lone setback, and he is about 8 yards behind the center. Comes to the left side. Nice open field tackle. It'll be a gain of 3 by Trent Bray. Was an outside linebacker last year.
Derek Anderson has had some problems on the road. 14 touchdowns, but 25 interceptions. So, and that was costly because they could at least made an attempt to pick up 3.
No, you're right, Mike. I mean, that's a situation where you just have to
throw it away.
Yeah, throw it away. Don't get greedy because you've got the home team on the ropes. At least make it a 10-point lead. Don't lose everything. Flag is down. I believe the left guard, Will Arnold, came out of his stance before the ball was snapped.
LSU's defense rose to the occasion.
Dead ball. Ball starting on the 73 against the offense. 5 yards. Remains back there.
So let's check in quickly with Reese Davis. Reese?
All right, Ron. Taco Bell taking us to the other Death Valley where we have a barn burner. Wake and Clemson. Clemson down 2. This is a 2-point conversion, and Charlie Whitehurst hits Kelvin Grant, and they're playing in overtime. Wake and Clemson locked up at 27.
Wow, he just took it away from him right over the top. Some kind of ball game up at Clemson, South Carolina today. Joseph Adai comes in the ball game, but he's at wide receiver, not at tailback. They roll from the shotgun. Pass thrown, got him complete, and knocked out of bounds at the 34-yard line. And that is Dwayne Bowe, who makes the catch, gain of 15. And the initial first down of the night for the Tigers. Lima, Siegert, Sir Henry Anderson, and Bill Swancutt. The down for Bill Swancutt, an outstanding player. Many people have him on their all-conference list. Ellison, Bray, and Pollard are the linebackers. And in the secondary, Williams and Browner are at the corners. Musin, the free safety, and the strong safety is Sabi Piscatelli, who had the pickoff earlier on. Going to be Bowe again, and this time for maybe a yard as they took him back into the short side of the field, and Jonathan Pollard came over to make the tackle.
Oregon State last year against the run only gave up 84 yards rushing per game. They're a difficult team to run against. Where you got to look for something out of Skylar Green, number 5, who's going to be in a slot back. He's going to be working against linebackers, and he's going to be working against safeties.
Again, Joe Adai in the ball game at wide receiver. And the ball comes to Adai. Turns the corner, gets by one tackle, and is going to be spinning and turning and finally stopped. I believe he got a first down around the 46. It's a gain of 9 as Trent Bray comes over to make the tackle. Well, they've used Adai already, wide receiver, and now a tailback.
Joseph Adai is a power running back, so this field conditions fit him.
Mike, you know what he was in high school? At Sharpstown High School in Houston, he was an option quarterback. And the coaches have raved about his effort during training camp because they took him from tailback to wide receiver, and he said he's worked really hard and hasn't complained a bit. He just wants to play. Justin Vincent comes back into tailback. Randall drills this one too high, had the man open at the 40. That's Dwayne Bowe, and it'll go incomplete.
Well, you can only think about Marcus Randall. His mom and brother told him, hey, you know, just have patience. Your time will come. Good things come to those who wait. And he's waited 5 years for this opportunity. You know he's a little nervous. He wants to go, and he wants to make things happen.
Well, he was the roommate with Matt Mock last year, and I'm sure he learned a lot there, even though he was not the starter. But in talking with Matt, who was the starter on this ball club for the last 2 years until injury took him away down at Florida year before last. Vincent, nice job of containment, and the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Oregon State's Musin, the free safety, and let's check back with Reese Davis.
All right, Ron, let's check in now on Rutgers and Michigan State. Rutgers with a 5-point lead. Michigan State, its last chance. Damon Dowdell, Eric Knott has to get the first down to keep the drive alive, and he does not. Fumbled the ball, but he wasn't close to the stick. Rutgers wins it by 5.
Okay, Reese, shocker right there. Third down, they need to take it to the 44-yard line of Oregon State to keep this drive going. And again from the shotgun for Marcus Randall. Flag goes down. Wide receiver on the near side, left too quickly. Ball is caught. He breaks out of a tackle. Bo is going to take it the distance, and it'll have to come back. I believe he is the man who jumped too quickly, and it's going to be a 57-yard touchdown.
Ron, I think it may have been Joseph Adai that moved too fast, too. We'll see who it is.
Well, we'll get the call, and he'll give the number.
Yeah, I think it was Joseph Adai.
On the offense, 5 yards, repeat third down.
Didn't give the number, Ron, but I believe it's Joseph Adai. Watch him right here. He starts too soon, trying to get down this football field. He's a little bit across the line of scrimmage.
Yep, you are exactly right. Boy, so a beauty. 57 yards, comes back. You just joined us at 6-0 Oregon State. We have 7 minutes left to play in his opening quarter. 2 turnovers early by the Tigers. The Beavers took care of business on the first one, but did not on the second turnover, and gave it right back to LSU when it was picked off and intercepted by Laron Landry. So a timeout's been called. We'll take it with him. 6-0. We'll be back with more from Baton Rouge. And we are back 6-0. Oregon State on top, and look who's coming to the ball game on offense. All-American cornerback, defensive specialist Corey Webster, and they said they might use him on offense some, and they have elected to do so. Third down. Randall sets deep in the pocket, looks going to go long, and this one is just well overthrown. Down around the 20-yard line. Piscatelli was the closest man to it.
Big pressure by Bill Swancutt, the All-American candidate, knocking Marcus Randall to the ground. Swancutt, number 90, gets by the offensive line. A good tackle on Marcus Randall. Didn't look like Corey Webster was running full speed on that play.
Patrick Fisher comes in to punt. It's his first of the night. And in fact, this end of the field has had all the action. It's been virtually nothing at the other end. Here's the boot. Wobbly driving spiral. And it's going to be taken. The ball is fumbled, and he'll recover it at the 11-yard line. Kellen Marshall never should have jumped up and caught the ball anyway. Bernard, I beg your pardon. 46 yards in the kick, -5 on the return. And Ronnie Prude is a man who took him almost in half.
I think Mike Riley's going to tell him, don't play that football. Made an unwise decision, but smart enough to recover the football.
Ronnie Prude with the big hit, waited on the field to see what alignment they were going to use. He did be in as a nickelback. Coming into the ball game for Oregon State is Ryan Cole, number 33. Now, the worst field position that Oregon State has had tonight at their own 11-yard line. In fact, they have their backs to the LSU student section. LSU jams up at the line of scrimmage. Anderson, good protection, got the ball complete, and a nice open field tackle. Newton is hit immediately by Laron Landry, but it's a gain of 16.
Newton has to come up big. We talked about that early in the broadcast. He's a 6'7" tight end that runs very well coming across the field. You see him coming across right here. And all of a sudden, Anderson delivers to the big target against Landry. Get out of that hole.
So they gain a little room to breathe here out to the 28. First down. Ball is fumbled on the ground. We're waiting for a signal. LSU football. Dorsey is the man who made the recovery. The freshman out of Gonzales.
The handoff was bad from the start. Derek Anderson doesn't get the football because Ryan Cole slipped.
Sure did.
Didn't have his hands ready. Kyle Williams in on the play.
Well, Kyle Williams already has caused a stir as far as the Oregon State Beavers offense. So LSU with their best field position of the afternoon at the 25.5-yard line. Benson again with a very deep set at tailback, 8 yards off the ball. Gets the handoff, tries to make a little stagger step, and with this wet footing, that's going to be hard to do. And as Mike made the point of, Oregon State's very hard to run on. Siegert is the man who got him.
I really believe the field conditions favor Oregon State for what they do. They're good run-stopping defense, and they're good throwing the football. So bad news for LSU on both sides of the ball.
Tough situation on the grounds crew here at LSU. They put the tarp on the field yesterday, and it was just a downpour. And it was in perfect condition. In 10 minutes before game time is when we had the next downpour.
On Skylar Green, inside receiver.
Rolls to his left, looking under heavy pressure. Going to put that ball away. And is going to fight his way inside the 20, down to around the 12.5-yard line. Eric Williams comes over to make the tackle.
Marcus Randall may be settling down a little bit. He made a wise choice to run that football on that play. Oregon State had all the receivers covered. Marcus Randall did a good thing and ran the football. Picked up big yardage.
So third down, they need to take it to the 15.5-yard line. Clock goes under 5 minutes to play opening quarter. Oregon State 6, LSU nothing. Randall from a shotgun, and he'll pitch it back inside to Skylar Green. Going to be hit behind the line of scrimmage. And how about the play by Bill Schwanka? You see why he's on all conference and many All-American lists. And folks, we visited with the kid this past week. He's no nonsense. He just wants to play and contribute.
Ron, he's an All-American football player. He said the left coast teams don't get they get the shaft, and he's going to make sure they don't get it. But he plays relentlessly.
Well, the coaches said he's a playmaker, and he made one right there. Jackson with a 41-yard attempt. Hit this one way, way, way too deep. Almost like you ground your club in golf, and that one is going to be wide to the right and no good, so we'll take a timeout. Tigers get a turnover, but cannot do anything with it. They still trail 6-0. Right back. Tiger with the roar before the football game tonight, then the range came. And right now, the team that's done all the roaring has been Oregon State. They lead at 6-0 with 4:05 to play in the opening quarter. As you look at Derek Anderson, senior out of Scappoose, Oregon. Ryan Cole operates at tailback, replacing Dwight Wright. Fakes it to Cole, going to go on top, and the ball just a little too far. Intended for Mike Haas and Reese Davis. Let's check back with you.
Okay, Ron, Sylvester Froome's debut at Mississippi State. Bulldogs taking on Tulane. Tulane was on the move until Lester Ricard threw an interception. Clarence McDougal there for State. They are scoreless at halftime on ESPN2.
All righty. Kyle Williams with pressure on that play right there. And in this first quarter, we have mentioned his name a great number of times. And the 95 has been busy. Second and 10. Anderson, 5-step drop. Ball is intercepted and dropped. Wow, Ronnie Prude, after making the big hit on special teams, had an opportunity to make an even bigger hit, and he dropped the football.
Ron, that was 6. Ronnie Prude is not going to get a better interception opportunity this season. Threw it right to him. Again, another mistake by Derek Anderson. Sometimes he wants to force the ball in there when it's not there.
And Mike, his receiver was falling down. He just, it's like an interception that he threw to Landry. He just trying to get a little too greedy. Third down now. They need to take it to the 34-yard line to keep it going. Wright comes back into tailback. Here comes pressure. They set the middle screen. Ball is tipped. Almost intercepted. Melvin Oliver is the man who got a hand on it. And he is lucky that that one wasn't picked off and returned for 6 points.
LSU's defense really got a pretty good beat on Oregon State's offense. Melvin Oliver gets his big hands up there, 6'3", and knocks that ball away.
That was Pittman who almost came up with the interception. But I tell you, from where this ball was tipped, if he had caught it, he was in a position to take it in and score.
LSU very good on special teams.
Gets the kick away, and miraculously he got it away, and the ball goes out of bounds, and it's not very far. That's 25 yards in the boot, and let's take another look at it.
Oregon State really now is making a lot of mistakes. LSU has to make them pay for it. Very fortunate to get that football away. Now good field position again for Marcus Randall to take over the offense.
LSU just had come into the ball game and dropped the snap. And if you're looking for the pot of gold, well, that's just out of the south end zone. Justin Vincent in a tailback, and he'll get the handoff. They try the right side, bounces it out and down inside the 45-yard line. Piscatelli is the man who comes up to make the stop. Well, the miscues by LSU. They fumbled the opening kickoff, led to 6 points by Oregon State. Motion penalty negated a 57-yard touchdown and then missed a 31-yard field goal. Early Doucette comes into the ballgame, an outstanding freshman from St. Martinville, Louisiana, wears number 9. Benson with the pitch. Hurdles one man. Whoa, does he get met and sent backwards by Trent Bray, the middle linebacker. And that's going to be a loss of about 3 yards.
One thing I see right now, when LSU's in a two-back set, 9 people are around the line of scrimmage. Difficult to run against that. Oregon State pretty solid on run defense. Got to throw the football. Still waiting for number 5, Skylar Green, to get off here.
Joe Adai comes back into the lineup, number 10. LSU on third down conversions. They are 0 of 2. Randall under pressure. Flag comes down. That may be offensive holding. Going to run, and he's tackled at the 41-yard line by Bray. But I believe we got holding back here at midfield.
I think it's on Whitworth against Swancutt, Ron. He's having trouble with the defensive end, the All-American Bill Swancutt. Whitworth, we figured this is going to be a battle the whole game. We talked to Bill Swancutt, and we asked him, did you see anything about Whitworth? He said, I know he's 6'7" and 325 pounds, and he moves well.
Well, there's a look at Andrew Whitworth right there, junior out of West Monroe. Okay, we'll have to isolate on that matchup a little bit and see exactly what's happening.
Number 76 on the offense. That is declined. It'll be 4th down.
Yeah, Bill Swancutt's having his way. He's got a wide rush technique, and Whitworth's out on an island right here, Swancutt. And as he comes in, he grabs a hold of him. He beat him on the spin move.
Part of the mistake that Whitworth made is using the inside, and he put himself, as Mike said, out there by himself on an island, and that was the difference. Chris Jackson in the ball game to kick end over end, and they're going to let it go, and the ball is going to be touched at the 1-yard line, and they're going to say touchback.
You may see a different guy returning punts the next punt.
Well, Daniel Francis
he saw his foot on the end zone before he got rid of the football. Good effort. I'm not sure he didn't get it out.
Dwight Wright comes back in a tailback. Anderson throws it complete. Tackled immediately is Dan Haynes. And I tell you, the tight ends have been very busy tonight for Oregon State. Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, and Aaron Andrews coming to you from a jam-packed Baton Rouge, Louisiana Tiger Stadium. Well, actually, I need to be correct. We're about 10 short of capacity because about 10 people got arrested for running out on the field during the rainstorm, and the police were out there lining them up and getting them into the paddy wagon.
Something in the water.
Is what they put the water in. Pass out in the flat again. We got it to the tight end. This time it's going to be Haynes. And let's see if he got the first down. He's very close at the 29-yard line. Jesse Daniels out there to make the stop.
Oregon State staying with their game plan. Paul Chris, the offensive coordinator, using the pass to set up everything else.
Haynes now with 3 catches for 21.
And you know, the receiver I thought would be a big factor too is Mike Haas, number 28. Over here.
Well, we'll see if they get him involved here. 3rd down and short, though. Well, they are going to throw right over the middle. Got it complete. And that's going to be to George Gilbert. Or George Gillette, I beg your pardon.
That's the respect the Beavers have for the Tiger defense, because 2 yards or less, they're going to throw the football. But that's their offense. They're riding the shoulders and the arm of Derek Anderson, the 6'6" senior.
E.J. Qualley, strong side linebacker, comes out of the lineup, and Ronnie Prude comes in as the 5th defensive back for the Tigers. 1st and 10 from their own 35. Pass overthrown because the receiver slipped down at the 41-yard line. That was Joe Newton, who they were throwing it to.
Derek Anderson threw almost 500 yards against USC's defense last season. So he's played against very fine football teams. LSU's defense every bit as good as USC's defense, but having problems slipping on this field.
Well, they stack the wide receivers out to the left. Anderson, good protection. The ball is tipped and almost intercepted. It's Travis Daniels who had a hand on it. And I'll tell you, folks, he's lucky he hasn't been picked off 3 times already in that opening quarter. Let's take a break. That's the end of the first 15 minutes of play. 6-0. Oregon State, big underdogs. So we are back as we continue to look at the rainbow just outside the stadium, and hopefully those blue skies will become dominant and we will be done with the rain this evening. Had a delay of, I guess we're about 50 minutes late in starting. 3rd down, and Oregon State needs to take it to the 44.5-yard line to keep this drive alive. LSU's got 6 defensive backs in the ball game. Anderson drills it, has it complete, and I'll tell you, I think Wright has the first down. Gain of 11 yards into play.
Ron, 18 passes, only 2 runs. That's going to wear out this defensive front of LSU. Pass rushing and not getting to Derek Anderson. Good catch by Haas.
Hawkins will come into the lineup, number 3. Lionel Turner on that last tackle. Boy, they really picked him there. They got it in the one hole that was available. Haynes was in motion, but they go straight ahead with the run. Reese Davis, let's check back with you.
Ron, again.
Boy, what a finish. Double overtime. The Tigers win. Second down. Short drop again. The ball is thrown complete at the 45. Corey Webster was all over him, but Haas held on to the football. Not quite enough for the first down, so they're going to have a 3rd down and about 1.
Haas is a former walk-on and earned a scholarship last year in preseason camp. Great catch. Low ball away from Corey Webster. Well thrown by Derek Anderson.
He had over 1,000 yards last year. Very powerful young man.
Here's where they may have problems right here, running for 1 yard.
LSU jams the line of scrimmage. They go straight ahead, and they're going to have the first down as he plows his way to around the 43.5-yard line. Turner on the stop, and Aaron Andrews down on the sideline with a famous LSU graduate. Who you got?
That's right, Ron. I'm here right now with Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq, what is one of your greatest memories here in Baton Rouge?
Actually, one of my greatest moments when I was on my recruitment. I sat in that end zone over there and announced my name, and the crowd went crazy. That's why I decided to come to LSU.
Well, I see you wearing the national championship football hat right now. Did you ever have thoughts of putting some pads on and playing out here for the Tigers?
I'm not that good, no. But congratulations, Nick Saban and the city of Baton Rouge. They deserve it.
All right, stand by.
So the sack, he's going to be stopped. That's the first time they've gotten to him at the 50. Aaron, let's go back to you. Continue your conversation with Shaq.
All right, well, Shaq, you're looking pretty slim. I know a lot of women would like to know what your secret is getting ready to play for the Miami Heat. What are you, on the South Beach diet or something?
I don't have a secret. I'm just sexy.
Before you go, Hurricane France is down there in South Florida. How's your house holding up?
My house is pretty good. I just want to wish everybody luck. Hopefully no one gets injured or hurt. And I wish everybody well.
Shaq, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Ron, take it away.
Okay, thanks very much, Aaron. Shaquille O'Neal played basketball here, of course. Came back and got his degree a couple of years ago, maybe 3. Anderson's pass, and that one is going to be caught at the 43-yard line. And it's a Haas who was on the receiving end. Corey Webster had to cover on him, and Haas did the only thing he could do, kind of playing out to make the catch.
Really, Haas is an excellent receiver, getting open, using his body, and makes that catch. Last year, he averaged 23 yards per catch, had 44 receptions. He's a go-to guy for Derek Anderson.
Well, somebody needs to be right now because it's third down. They need to take it to the 33.5-yard line. Anderson, good protection, right over the middle, and he threw it too hard and maybe behind Mike Haas.
Boy, he'd like to have that one back, Ron, because he got great protection, and Haas came open late. Here's the protection. Nobody gets to him. He overthrows this football. He knows he made a mistake, because if Haas catches that football, he's off and running.
Valescu in for his second punt of the afternoon. Scott Green, the deep man, end over end on the kick, and Green is going to run away from it, and it takes an Oregon State bounce, and it is just going to go dead as a hammer right there at the 7-yard line as Sammy Strother came in to make the recovery. Only 35 on the kick. LSU will have horrible field position. So we are back. Shaquille O'Neal tries to make his way through the base of the student section, and that's rather difficult to do. By the way, for LSU, Mike, 15 snaps, only 37 net yards. And we have 11:02 left to play until halftime.
Need a big play. Oregon State's defense not going to give you the big play.
Benson comes to the right side, and again, Oregon State has been really impressive with their tackling. Here's a reminder: Show Your Spirit Day on September the 7th. Wear your favorite team's apparel to work, and in exchange, each participant can make a $5 donation or more to the B Foundation to benefit cancer research. Anyone can participate. For more details, log on to www.jimmyb.org.
Jimmy B. Spent some time up with him at ESPN. He was a guy with tremendous enthusiasm for life. Great basketball coach.
Huge underdog, won a national championship over the Houston Cougars out in Albuquerque. Play action. Randall throws the ball low and behind the receiver, and he gets Skylar Green in trouble, and instead of even at the line of scrimmage, they're going to be knocked down for a loss, as Piscatelli was all over him.
Yeah, Piscatelli is the fastest guy on this football team for Oregon State. He closed fast on Skylar Green. Skylar Green really doesn't have an opportunity to run this football.
Mike, and Marcus Randall, when he gets in a hurry, the point of the football is down, and it makes it a more difficult ball to catch.
Bobbled it on that play.
2 turnovers each. You see total yards in this one. Oregon State 105-39 for LSU. Backside pressure. Randall now delivers it, has a man there, and I'll tell you, they had to play defensive back as Williams was there, and Joe Adai actually knocked the ball down.
One thing about these two corners for Oregon State, Eric Williams and Brandon Browner, they'll challenge you. Eric Williams does a great job on this play, getting past Adai to help deflect that football.
You see what Adai did, though? He was knocking it down because he knew he couldn't catch it. Patrick Fisher, redshirt freshman out of Hyattsville, Maryland. His second punt of the night, his first 46 yards. So you have to get it up because you don't get much roll in this soggy turf. Another line drive, lazy spiral, and he lets this one get by him. Wow. Mike, I have a feeling Bernard was the man who let it get by him. You're right. They may be trying a couple of... Part of the capacity house here in Baton Rouge at Tiger Stadium. Ryan Cole is coming to ball game at tailback for the Beavers of Oregon State as Anderson goes under center. 9:11 left until halftime. Ball is tipped at the line of scrimmage, and that one could have been picked off. I believe it's Brian West, the sophomore out of West Monroe, who got a hand on it. Mike, this ball game, it's interesting. A lot of people said that man right there, the head coach Mike Riley at Oregon State, was crazy. He was to have played Temple today. His game came open because Virginia Tech wanted to play in the black coaches game, which was last week. And Frank Beamer said, we don't want to play SC one week and then have to go to Baton Rouge the next. So LSU moved the game to 07. And we'll give you more explanation here after this play. Anderson, again, right over the middle, has it complete, and that is to Wheatbrown. The point is, everybody was shocked when Coach Riley said, hey, we'll go down there and play in Baton Rouge. And people said, you're crazy. But I'll tell you, he has used this as a total positive, and right now it's really going in his direction.
It really is. Now, Temple got beat badly today, and that game was supposed to be at Oregon State. But Mike Riley, as a head coach, Ron, is loose as a goose. He enjoys coaching. He enjoys the sideline. He made this decision. He had helped him in recruiting. It helped him in his fans, and they're excited about it. Plus, he gets a big paycheck.
Well, they made the first down, and this is what Mike's talking about. The paycheck or payday is $1 million. Great classroom here in Baton Rouge, extensive media coverage. And also, he said it helps in recruiting, and all of the above is exactly right. And, of course, we've got a lot of time to play here. Even if they lose this football game, I really salute him, and I think it was an extremely wise move to make.
Yeah, it really was, because it helped him in recruiting, and it's helped his football team right now, because like Virginia Tech, it helped them playing USC. It's helping Oregon State in this football game.
And you know, Mike, we're finding out in all sports, particularly West Coast against East Coast, or even if it's West Coast against Heartland, these kids on the West Coast, they come on later, and a lot of people don't get to see their programs. And Swancutt was one who said, hey, we're not being cocky, but we've got something we want to show. We want to prove to some people. We're pretty good out here.
It's a little easier now, too, with the passing game. Derek Anderson, they're throwing the football all over the ballpark here.
Second down, they need to take it to the LSU 40. And it's going to be Ryan Cole who will take it for about a gain of a yard. And Reese Davis says, check back with you.
All right, Ron, Sylvester Croom in Mississippi State against Tulane after a pickoff by Darren Williams of Mississippi State. Jarius Norwood in the house, the first touchdown of the Croom era. And the Bulldogs are on top of Tulane, 7-0 in the third quarter.
We met Sylvester down at the ESPN meetings in Florida. I'm convinced he's going to do a great job at State.
Certainly got a lot of respect from young and old in the state of Mississippi. Pressure coming right up the middle. Flags are down, and that pass almost intercepted. And this time it was LaRon Landry who had an opportunity for the pickoff.
That's about 4.
At least.
that they've had a shot at. Got to turn this down.
On number 28, the offense is declined. 4th down.
Forced the punt. Oregon State happy with the fact that they're going to pin LSU back.
So it means Skylar Green will go back deep at the 10-yard line. And Pelescu will be waiting for the snap back at his own 40-yard line. Skylar Green with a high ankle sprain in a scrimmage a week ago. And he's really done a masterful job of quick recovery. High kick, he runs away from it. And it bounces. Is it going to get in the end zone? Yep, it did, but I mean just barely. 46 yards on the kick, and we'll take a timeout. 7:09 remaining until intermission, and it's still 6-0, Oregon State. The underdogs in this one to come into Baton Rouge and play. First and 10 for the Tigers from their own 20. Benson again lines up a tailback. Blitz coming off the corner, and they swing it out, and this is Benson. 25, stretches out around the 29-yard line.
Ron, nothing is coming easy for LSU on offense. Randall gets stuck right there. The good tackling defense of Oregon State. They hit you. Here's the pass to Skylar Green. He's right on top of him. Joseph Adai is the intended receiver here, but nothing is going easy. Everything under duress for LSU on offense.
And not good decisions. That pass there that Adai had to play defensive back on. And the one out on the flat, it's like they were in bump coverage, and he still threw the ball. Almost break the run on that one as Bray will make the tackle. It'll be enough for the first down. Bray, we have unofficially 6 tackles on him.
On the backup quarterback is DeMarcus Russell from Mobile, Alabama, and he is not ready. I can tell you that watching him in practice. He's going to be a great player. Nick Saban said, I want to get him in early in the season, not necessarily in this football game, but I got to get him some playing time.
So it's a first down for the Tigers, as now they scrimmage from their own 34, and that's going to be, he better get after that. That ball is thrown behind him. Now, I'm going to be anxious to see if they bring this back to the line of scrimmage, because it sure looked like it was a backwards pass.
I think it's going back to the line of scrimmage.
Okay, see where it goes. Doucette was the intended receiver. Very close. And Doucette will be reminded that on every ball like that, you go after it just in case. Here comes pressure. They set up the screen, and he just throws it away.
Smart move by Marcus Randall, because they were all over that play.
Well, Siegert, you're supposed to allow the defensive lineman through, but Siegert was maybe a little closer than he was supposed to be.
Yeah, they had a twist going on, but they locked up man for man, and sometimes when you get a man coverage against the screen, that's not a good way to do it. QB comparison. Randall 3 of 9, 26 yards.
LSU 0 of 4 third down conversions. Randall. Boy, that was thrown right at the defensive back, and Bray slipped down, trying to figure out who in the world he was throwing to. Nobody with an LSU headgear over there.
Ron, when you have good corners like Eric Williams and Brandon Browner, you can do a lot of things in coverage. They are outstanding corners.
Fisher to kick it away. And Bernard is the deep man for Oregon State. Off the side of his foot. Wow. Boy, special teams play tonight has been ugly. 12 yards on the kick. Coming up next on ESPN, it is Notre Dame taking on BYU, and that game is in Provo. The Fighting Irish opening the season against the Cougars of Brigham Young.
See the education of quarterback Brady Quinn of Notre Dame. 9 touchdown passes last year, 15 interceptions. I expect him to be a lot better with the year's experience.
Well, great. How many times? This is what, 3 times that Oregon State has taken the ball over on the LSU side of the 50-yard line. Right. Finally hemmed up after a gain of about 5 to around the 41-yard line. Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, and Aaron Andrews coming to you from Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Number 3 ranked LSU not off to a good start. They fumbled the opening kickoff and gave it to the Beavers at the 25. Beavers wound up scoring on that drive, made it 6-0, missed the extra point. I tell you, they came right back and got an interception or another fumble. And because quarterback Anderson got a little bit greedy, threw a pass interception, so they wound up with no points. And that's how we stand at 6-0. Running play is going to be a couple of yards short as Melvin Oliver puts a stop on Dwight Wright.
I'm going to say it again. The field conditions definitely have hurt LSU more than Oregon State.
Explain why.
The speed. The one thing I was impressed with more than anything else in practice was the ability of all the defensive linemen, linebackers, secondary to run. They're a fast defense. They slowed down because of the field conditions.
Well, they need to take this one to the 35-yard line. It's 3rd down. LSU shows blitz. And now here come flags in. And I think that maybe Oregon State might have had a delay of game.
Dead ball. False start.
Nope, false start. Beg your pardon.
5 yards. Remains 3rd down.
Reese Davis, let's check back with you.
Okay, Ron, and we'll check in once again in Starkville, Tulane, and Mississippi State. Bullies up 7-0. Omar Connor, Eric Butler, Sylvester Croom's team on top 14-0 in the 3rd.
So an impressive start so far for Mississippi State. 3rd down. And now they still got to go to the 35, so it's 3rd down, and let's call it 8. Anderson, boy, gets hit, loses the ball, and I believe it's been recovered by LSU. It has Marcus Spears.
Ron, you talk about not being fast. Marcus Spears just became fast. He hit Derek Anderson on the backside. Here's Spears right here, coming 84, beating the block of Ninehouse. Causing the fumble and then alertly trying to get on it.
He does.
Spears, he beat the block and the tackle, and we talked about they have to protect Derek Anderson because the pass is the weapon.
Surprising that Anderson did not feel that more since it was in his face. So LSU now with the 1st and 10 at their own 47. Randall, play action, got a man wide open if he can get it to him, and that ball is overthrown. I mean, early Doucette had 2 steps on the defensive back when he broke back toward the post.
Yeah, early Doucette is going to break to the outside and then inside. He got Mitch Musin turned.
Wouldn't have
just threw it over his hands.
We got a flag down, and I'm not sure it would have mattered. I think we got another holding call on Whitworth.
Randall is so anxious.
And hold number 76 on the offense. 10 yards from the previous spot. Repeat 1st down.
Well, Swancut has given him fit.
Oh, he really is. And the offensive line of LSU is a strength. Whitworth, 6'7", 325-pound junior, and Ben Wilkerson, the center, 6'4", 297, are All-American candidates. Swancut is bringing his A game, which he always brings to the table.
Start to say that's the thing that the coaches say that they love about him, is the fact that it never changes. The work ethic is there in practice. The work ethic is there in the ball game. 3 penalties now against the Tigers. 1st down at about 20. Vincent has 5, has 10. He's open. inside the 35-yard line. Eric Williams finally makes the tackle, and he finally got a little crease. And that's all that Justin Benson needs, 31 yards on that running play.
When all of a sudden they spread out Oregon State's defense and hit the run inside with Justin Benson. 1,000 yards last year, 10 touchdowns.
Had the big run to open the game down at the Sugar Bowl at the National Championship. Almost went the distance.
64-yard run.
Yep. Good block that time by Ben Wilkerson, the senior out of Hemphill, Texas, the senior center. Well, Vincent this time hit behind the line of scrimmage. And that is a dandy play by Jeff Van Orso, a redshirt freshman from Las Vegas. That's a pretty good job there. He comes in replacing Swancut, who gets a breather, and he winds up with a tackle for a loss.
Yeah, it's real important depth-wise for the Beavers because they don't have a lot of defensive linemen. Swancut, most of the time, is going to play the whole game.
Will Arnold, who was the newcomer on that offensive line, at guard, a redshirt freshman, number 73, is just hobbled off the field, and we'll try to get a report on him. Terrell McGill comes in replacing him. That pass is complete out in the far flat. Craig Davis makes the catch and is going to be pushed out at the 25-yard line.
Jimbo Fisher, the offensive coordinator, talked about Marcus Randall, and he said once he knew he was a guy, he studied more film, prepared himself to go in this football game. And you talked about fifth-year guy. He's been around this program a lot of practices. He knows the offense.
So as we saw them checking over Arnold on the sideline, Shane Gangler tried to get things squared away on the far side. Joe Adai has checked in, number 10. And he is out to the right. I don't know if somebody took off running or what, but it's mentioned that they messed up the chain, and they were trying to get them down and keep somebody from getting hurt when the play came in their direction. And that's the reason for the delay right here. Okay, we're set to go. Third down. And they need about 3.5 yards. Tigers have not converted a third down situation tonight. Gets his pass away, and it is incomplete. Very nearly intercepted. Early Doucette, the intended receiver, and Musin was very close to picking it off.
Pretty good pass protection, but Marcus Randall, you're going to see the protection first of all. He could block Swancut that time. Andrew Whitworth. Marcus Randall got hit, but threw it in the crowd. That's almost like putting it up for grabs and saying, I hope we get it.
So Chris Jackson to attempt the 42-yard field goal. Got enough leg on this one, but again, wide right. Well, some of the crowd getting a little anxious. A few scattered boos there. 2 minutes and 38 seconds left until halftime. Still 6-0. Oregon State held up for close to 50 minutes. That's how late we were getting started because of thunder, lightning, and heavy rain. And the situation, Oregon State has taken care of business, and the LSU Tigers have not so far. Anderson, 13 of 24, one interception for 115 yards and one touchdown. Going to keep this one on the ground, breaks off the tackle. That's right, and he's open at midfield at the 35, and is now going to be knocked out of bounds all the way down at the 26-yard line. Jesse Daniels makes the stop, and it's a 49-yard run.
Ron, I think there was a trap up inside where the guard pulled and they trapped. Let's see. No zone play that they broke backside. Dwight Wright just shows great speed and runs away from Corey Webster.
That's a career-long run. checks in a tailback, replacing Wright. And Anderson wants to throw on first down. Puts it up, way overthrown. And Reese Davis, let's check with you.
Okay, Ron, coming up on the Pontiac High Performance Halftime Report, Trev and Mark are here. We'll talk about the double overtime thriller in the other Death Valley. Sylvester Croom making his debut. We'll also look ahead to our other game in primetime, Notre Dame and BYU. You guys finish up the first half. We'll see you in just a little bit.
Okay.
Ron, Derek Anderson has to not make a mistake here. He's got to come away with some points. He's been picked off a couple times, and
well, he's got the opportunity, and he's got to take advantage of it. Is what you're talking about. As Dwight Wright tries to cut it back and take it to the open side of the field, Jesse Daniels is right there.
We talked about Oregon State's depth on defense and the offensive line. LSU right now looks to be a tired defense.
You know, I kind of felt as though that on that long run just a moment ago was one of those things. Well, we're here close to halftime, but you know somebody's going to get him, and all of a sudden, poof, he's gone, and does flip the field, just like you said. Tigers show blitz. They come right up the middle, and the pass incomplete. Mel Oliver coming with pressure, and in fact they had dropped Marcus Spears off into coverage, and he was pretty close to it, along with Lionel Turner.
Melvin Oliver, number 90, is going to get right in there. Anderson never had a chance.
And he never should have thrown this football.
Got away with it.
So the field goal attempt is coming.
This is big.
They're going to place it down at the 30-yard line. So a 40-yard attempt right in the middle of the field. Cerna. He got the distance, and he's good. 1:35 left until halftime, and our new score, Oregon State 9-0. As far as going in at intermission time.
It really does, Ron. Derek Anderson's feeling good about himself. LSU really needs a big special teams kickoff return here. They got to get on the board here before half. They need the special teams to help them.
Well, Skyler Green, one of the deep men back there, along with Joe Adai. Here's the kick. This is very short, and it's one of those quick spinners. On the run, the ball is fumbled. He'll just knock it out of bounds, which is a smart thing to do. Joe Adai, the ball very high, and kicked at an angle.
Oregon State doing a good job, Ron, hanging around here. Offensively, Anderson's been good in the first half. They've run the ball a little bit more the second quarter against the tired defense. When you have to rush the passer so many times, you tire out a little bit. Swan Cut has been unable to, they can't block him. The corners, Brandon Browner and Eric Williams, line up. They're taking away the two outside receivers, letting it be a 9-man defensive game.
Well, LSU's defense has already played 39 snaps in the first half. Screen pass. Vincent going to make short yardage out of it as Bray again comes up to make the tackle. Keith Ellison is there to help out as well. Going to be a gain of about 5, and the clock runs at 1:18, now 1:17. Randall, pressure is on, and he just throws this one away.
Smattering of boos, and they forgot the national championship already. But Marcus Randall, when you sit around a program for 5 years and you wait your turn, you have to have some good things happen to you. I like the way he practiced, though. He practiced hard. He looked like he was confident. But Oregon State's defense has done a great job of boxing up this offense.
Third down. They need to take it to the 34.5-yard line to keep this one going. And this pass right here going to be overthrown, way overthrown.
And see, the more you boo the quarterback and his teammates, doubt enters into this in the playing field. You've got to give a guy more time than this. Marcus Randall can get the job done. He just needs to settle down, needs some help.
Chris Jackson, only the second time that he would have punted, and Bernard is the deep man. Pressure up the middle, end over end is the kick. Very returnable. Makes the grab, and he'll take it to around the 47-yard line before the tackle is made. Coming up at the half, it's the Pontiac High Performance Halftime Report. Sylvester Croom in his debut. Double overtime up at Clemson. And Notre Dame and BYU will have a preview of that.
First down.
Oregon State, 44 seconds, 3 timeouts. A lot of time for a passing team. You're Mike Riley. Do you take a chance on throwing the ball down the field here?
His quarterback is a cat with not 9 lives anymore. He should have had 4 picked off, so I'm not sure I would gamble, no.
He's buying your strategy.
Tackle is made. Inbounds by Corey Webster.
I think Mike Riley is doing exactly
Smart
like
play.
Ron Franklin said. He's relaxed right now. He's got the lead. He's up by 2 scores. He's going to take it to the locker room and talk it over.
See what he just said. He gave him
go to the locker room.
Hands flat there, and he said, fellas, let's head to the locker room, talk it over. We got a 9-0 lead in a ball game that everyone told us we were crazy to play. And let's go down to Aaron on the sideline with Coach Riley. Aaron.
All right, Ron, thanks so much. I'm here right now with Oregon State coach Mike Riley. Coach, your defense has managed to keep LSU off the scoreboard. How do they keep that momentum going into the second half?
Well, that's going to be the key. You know, this is a long game. College football lasts a long time, so we're going to have to really keep playing good football. We got to take care of the ball offensively better and take advantage of opportunities. But, you know, it's just going to be a long, good half. We're going to have to come out ready to play like we did at the start.
You take a 9-point lead into the locker room against the co-defending national champs. What do you say to your team in there before they head back out?
Let's go have fun. Let's go play this second half for the time of our lives. That's what we're going to do.
Coach, thanks. Ron, back up to you.
Okay, Aaron, so our score at halftime, a shocker here in Baton Rouge. Oregon State, 9-0. Now here's Reese Davis with the Pontiac halftime report. Reese, the offense, wow.
You're a tough grader.
Well, I don't think so. I think I'm being very kind. I mean, that was a tough first half to watch. Line drive. And it's going to roll into the end zone, and they will take it over at the 20-yard line. So, Mike, halftime. Coach Saban, what do you say to your co-defending national champions after that first half performance?
Well, first of all, the national championship is last year. So, and I would tell them that it's a 4-quarter football game. We got to make some things happen on defense. Offensively, I think that if they settle down, I still believe Marcus Randall. I think you got to give him more time in here. And I think you got to spread the field out, run the ball, take your shots downfield against the inside receiver, against the linebackers.
You know, it may have to be the defense that brings this crowd back into the football game, quite frankly.
Make a big play and then get them right back in this.
Anderson lobs it out, has it complete to his tight end. That's Newton, and he is going to be tackled by Landry. Tonight's first half stats brought to you by Rust-Oleum Epoxy Shield.
Well, when you look at LSU, Ron, it's very, 93 total yards, but 39 passing yards, and that's not good. When you got sleep a little bit with the open attack like they have.
Jamarcus Russell warming up down on the sideline. I don't know if this means that he's coming in on his opening series. I would be surprised if he did. But anyway, he is loosening on the sideline. Pass incomplete. Oh, what a hit. Newton took it. Pretty good shot there by Travis Daniels.
You talk about coming out to play in the third quarter. The defense, 2 plays, 2 pretty good hits. Now they need to stop this third down, get the ball back, and be in business. Now this is going to be an interesting decision. I think you got to go longer with Randall. We'll see what Nick Saban chooses to do.
Third down. Line to make is the 30. Anderson going to run it. Under heavy pressure, going to be knocked down short of the first down. In fact, he's knocked down behind the line of scrimmage, and it's Kirsten Pittman who made the tackle.
Well, your defense did exactly what you wanted them to do if you're Nick Saban. They set the tempo for the start of the third quarter. Now the offense has to feed off of it.
LSU stands back to kick. It's his fourth punt.
I believe Jamarcus Russell is coming into the game.
Wow. I'm surprised. Skyler Green, the deep man, he's dropped off to the 35. They're coming after him, and here's the kick, his best of the night. Wobbly spiral will turn over, and here he comes from the 32. Pushed out of bounds at around the 40, so good start position for the LSU Tigers. And Mike, here he comes, the big freshman out of Mobile, Alabama. And listen to this crowd.
Ron, I've been watching this young man since he was a freshman in high school. And he has all the talent in the world. He can be as good as he wants to be.
Now, the difficult thing for Jimbo Fisher, the offensive coordinator, is you got to nurture him a little bit in play calling also against a very tough defense in Oregon State.
Ron, when you make that switch and you tell Marcus Randall you didn't do the job, you still have to, if this guy doesn't work out, Jamarcus, you got to go back to Marcus Randall. So you got to coach him up. Here's Marcus Randall, the interception, which was costly early in the football game. Gets pressure, throws the ball out of bounds, just heaves it out of bounds. You know, it just looked like he lost confidence in the second quarter.
Yep, sure did. And staring down receivers as well. Russell zings it. The ball is tipped and almost intercepted. And boy, that's Keith Ellison, the strong side linebacker, who got a hand on it.
Everybody likes the second team quarterback, but it's what happens around the quarterback also. Receivers, young receivers, we talked about it at USC. Liner did not look good in the first half. Came on the second half and hit some big passes to preserve that win.
Well, LSU now, third down situation. They are 0 of 7 in third down conversions tonight. They need to take it to the 50-yard line. Russell, here comes blitz, gets by the first man, gets by the second, and throws this one away. And heavy pass pressure by Trent Bray.
A new quarterback, you're going to blitz him. Trent Bray, the linebacker, coming in. They moved him out of the pocket, got him on the move. And Jamarcus shows you great athletic ability to throw that ball away.
Third punt by this young man, Chris Jackson. High pass, but he brings it down. And his best kick of the night. Hanging spiral. Fair catch is called for and made it to 21 by Bernard. 40 yards and a kick. We'll take a break. 12:27 left in the third. It's still 9-0. The faithful that have traveled down here from the state of Oregon. That's attractive, but I'm not sure you need that kind of warmth on a night like this. I wouldn't want to be sitting close to them anyway. So Derek Anderson, who injured his passing hand right at the end of the first half, back in the ball game. You look at his numbers. 6 of 7 to start, 8 of 21 since then. And they keep it on the ground. There's nothing doing here. Kyle Williams. Okay, Kyle has really done a superb job tonight. We have called his name a lot.
LSU is winning the battle at the line of scrimmage. In the second half, penetration, You talked about Kyle Williams coming through, making the play, a 6'2", 295-pound junior. The defense knows it's up to them right now to get this game turned around. Force a turnover or force bad field position.
They go with the run again, and this is going to be for almost no yards. It'll be 3rd down and 10+. Claude Roten in there Claude Roten, I should say, in there to make the tackle for LSU. Williams, who has had such a good night, trying to replace Chad Lavallee, the outstanding defensive tackle who graduated this past year.
Chad Lavallee. He was like a guy like Swancut that would play every play like it was a national championship game.
Third down. They need to take it to the 32. Pressure from behind, gets it away, and that ball is almost intercepted, and guess who? Kyle Williams was all over the back of the ball carrier, and he had a shot at picking that off. Corey Webster coming out of blitz.
Had his own blitz run and dropped off Kyle Williams. He was right there for the screen pass. Good defensive series for the Tigers.
Pulaski to punt, 5th time that he would have taken care of those chores tonight. LSU's got the return on. Good hanging spiral. And Scott Green's going to let it go, and it'll go out of bounds around the 37-yard line. So we'll take a break. 10:57 left, 3rd quarter. Oregon State continues to lead 9-0.
Brought to you by Russell Athletic, who has proudly outfitted 34 national championship football teams. Are you Russell material? And the next Ford Super Duty. Tougher, stronger, smarter.
Anderson on the far sideline, toweling off. Very wet and muddy out there on that field. And, of course, imperative that a quarterback keep his hands as tidy as you possibly can. Keep them clean. Jamarcus Russell, his 2nd consecutive series. Play action, and they're going to throw the bubble screen, and a dive will come back and pick it up to make sure that it was not a backward pass.
Jamarcus Russell, 6'5", 248 pounds. Was a high school phenom over in Mobile, Alabama. Was a highly recruited quarterback, came down to Florida, LSU, as Marcus Randall waits for another chance.
Ali Broussard comes into the ballgame. First time we've seen him, sophomore out of Lafayette. Outstanding, very strong tailback. Got a bad snap, and they fight over the football. Jamarcus Russell running for his life, and now is going to be hit from behind and tackled at around the 31-yard line. Keith Ellison on the stop. Did the snap just come low?
Came low. Ron, if he doesn't hit this pass, I think you have to go back to Randall. He's more experienced.
See Ben Wilkerson going for a towel there. The big offensive centers. You look at Marcus Randall, who was the starter in tonight's ball game, on the sideline.
Tell you this about Jamarcus Russell. He's an athlete, and he's calm and cool. Even though he didn't play last year, 0 for 3 here at the start. He's not going to get riled up. Pretty confident young man.
Third down. That was a little bit low on that spin. Throws it up the sideline, got a man, and he just let him a little too much, Craig Davis.
The offense just can't get anything going. These 3 passing attempts there, they got to go back to the run game because the offensive line is a strength. The running backs are a strength. Even though you got that guy, Swancut, on the other side, you got to spread them out and run the football.
Chris Jackson to kick again. His longest of the night, 42. You see his average just over 38. Fair catch is called for and made at around the 35-yard line by Bernard. Well, last year in New Orleans, actually this year, because it was after the first, Justin Benson on the first play from scrimmage makes it 64 yards. He had 117 yards rushing against Oklahoma and was the MVP of that ball game. Meanwhile, the Tiger defense held Oklahoma in check. Marcus Spears with the interception here, and he'll take it in for the touchdown. LSU won its first national championship in 45 years with a 21-14 victory over Oklahoma. This pass out in the flat by Anderson is caught by Haynes and then pushed out of bounds. And the trophy is there on the sidelines tonight.
And, Ron, we've seen both these teams. USC last week struggled in the first half, came back and won the football game. Reggie Bush had a big outing in that game. Leinart got hot late in the game. LSU still can win this football game.
Dwight Wright cuts it back into the middle. He'll be stopped at the line of scrimmage by Qualley.
Defense has got control of Oregon State's offense at this point. We still question whether Derek Anderson has a hand injury or not.
3rd down and 5. Oregon State has missed their last 6 third down situations. Tigers still blitz, and here they come. It's a quarterback draw, and he goes right down. Kyle Williams with another tackle.
Takes a while in a football game when you're blitzing team to get to cadence. Now, that may have been a delay of game call. You get another play.
Against the offense, 5 yards, repeat 3rd down.
Where that flag appeared, Mike Riley gets another chance. But LSU has timed up the starting count. Their blitz is hitting the right areas.
Sir Henry Anderson was injured, went to the locker room. May have been cramps. I say
drinking.
He's drinking a lot of fluid there. He is the starter at right defensive tackle, so good to see him back out on the field.
The go-to receiver is Haas right here on the inside. Mike Haas.
3rd down. Got to take it to the 45. Anderson, incomplete. Gillette, and boy, he was covered completely by Corey Webster.
Did not throw that ball very well either. Derek Anderson slipped out of his hand. Defense did their job again.
Valescu 6 times that he has kicked this evening. High, good coverage kick. Skylar Green signals for a fair catch and makes it at the 21. 44 yards in the boot. We'll go away for a minute. 9-0 Oregon State. 8:41 left in the 3rd. Alec Broussard at tailback. Quick out pass, and that was thrown a little too far in front of Skylar Green.
And what happens is the body language of the offense. At this point, they've lost confidence. And they want something to happen. That's why I say air one out. Throw a long pass here. Air one out. Maybe get lucky.
Nick Saban continuing to pace, and for good reason. Well, offensively, it has just not been there so far this evening. Russell rolls out, throws this one complete. Out to the 28-yard line. It's Bo. Jonathan Pollard got out there to make the stop.
Flat route to Dwayne Bowe, number 80. Well thrown by Jamarcus. Still big third down here. You got to pick it up.
Need to take it to the 31.5-yard line. You can see the yellow line. See if they can reach that juncture, and they do. A dive with the catch, and let's check in with Reese Davis. Reese.
All right, Ron, an historic night in the SEC. Sly Kroom, the first African-American head coach in the conference, leading Mississippi State against Tulane. That's Darnell Jones going in for a little icing. State rolls over Tulane, 28-7, and when Sly least suspects it, the victory bath. Sly Kroom, victorious in his first game. Jarius Norwood over 100 yards. And look at this, second half, Ole Miss trailing Memphis by 4.
Tell you what, Williams for Memphis is as good a running back as anybody has in the country. There's a dive, catching the pass, tough running. Wow, that'll garner a large amount of applause, and it does. He takes it to the 45 as Seegert finally wrestles him down.
Jimbo Fisher is real important right here. He's the offensive coordinator. He's doing things that Jamarcus is getting some confidence with. Short passes, there's a quick screen to a dive in the flat passes, and Jamarcus all of a sudden looks like he's getting in rhythm.
Ali Broussard continues to operate a tailback. They give it to him, and he's loose. Broussard down the far sideline, finally bumped out of bounds. Where do they say it? The 40-yard line by Scott.
Fresh legs coming into the football game. Showed good speed as he breaks outside. Gets the handoff, gets a good block. Nate Livings,
yeah.
Livings, and off in the secondary.
Mike will tell you something else about Broussard. He's not only strong because he's a big running back at 235, he's also the fastest of the running back. And that extra quick step got him outside. But your point about him having fresh legs also is well taken. Russell, deep over the middle. Got his man. Did he hold on? Yes, and it's a dive.
A dive, moved out to wide receiver. He's good hands. He's a great third down back, and all of a sudden this crowd has got with the offense.
They'll go with the two tight end set. David Jones comes on. Keith Zinger, number 82 and number 89. Ali Broussard will come to the sideline. Justin Vincent, a tailback. They fake it to him, looking for the end zone. Got a man out there, and he just threw it a little too far. Oh, that was Justin Vincent.
Had the right idea.
Yeah.
You like when the quarterback goes to the right receiver, just overthrew it. But he's got bounce in his step right now. The offensive line has a big bounce. They finally have figured it out that they can score.
Deepest drive of the night tonight. Oregon State's 18-yard line. This is the 8th play of the drive. Ali Broussard comes back into the lineup, number 22. Give it to Broussard. Puts the head down. Almost said the ball is loose, but it was a headgear that came flying out of there. I don't know if it belonged to Broussard or not. No, it's a Beaver. Swan cut, I think, is one. Yep, that lost his headgear. May lose his headgear, but a young man won't lose his head. He is one steady ball player.
Ron, what we talked about at the beginning, the heat, humidity. Swan cut looks like a tired football player. He had one play off, but he has wore down. This is the first drive where they've had to stay on the field.
Third down, and they need to take it to the 8.5-yard line. Jamarcus Russell from a shotgun. Here comes the blitz right up the middle. They pick it up, lobs the pass, and he's got it. Touchdown, Skylar Green.
when you put a new quarterback in the game, you're looking for a spark. Nick Saban, Jimbo Fisher, the offensive coordinator, they got the spark from Jamarcus Russell.
Chris Jackson to attempt the extra point to make it a 2-point game. And he does. Flag is down. Kick, and he angles it near sideline, and it's going to be out of bounds. So Oregon State will take it over with good field position. They're here in their heart, not their body. Right, the tailback. Pass to the tight end. First time they've gone back to the tight end in a while, and Joe Newton makes the catch. So a reminder, a program note, it is just past 9:30 Eastern time, but over on ESPN2, Notre Dame and BYU are kicking off right now. As soon as we conclude here, that ball game will be shifted over to ESPN. So if you're looking for it here, go to ESPN2. This running play is going to go short yardage to around the 35-yard line. Well, Mike, here's an interesting note. How long it has been since Oregon State pulled off a victory like it would be huge here tonight. They haven't beaten a top 3 ranked team since '67, number 1 SC and number 2 Purdue. Yeah, but Mike Riley knows he's got a program that's getting better and better out there. Dennis Erickson recruited very well to Oregon State. Mike Riley's the kind of guy that's going to sit in that program. He's going to be there for a long time. But they're about to build it. About to increase the size of the stadium by 8,000 seats. As Anderson throws across the middle, and that one's nowhere close. Joe Newton, I assume, the intended receiver. Ron, go back to those 2 extra points. Big. When he hit the crossbar. You know, those 2 and an interception that he threw back in the first half, that when they were going in, and at least for 3 points. Crowd comes to life. 3rd down. They need to take it down to the 27-yard line. LSU showing blitz, coming up tight at the line of scrimmage. Here they come. Anderson right over the middle has it complete, and it's not going to be enough for the first down. George Gillette on the receiving end. Now with the kicking woes they've had tonight, Mike, do you go for the short yardage thing or do you kick the field goal? Good question. I'm going to let Mike Riley make that choice. I think you go for it. It looks like that's exactly what they're going to do. Looks like Newton and Haynes will come to the ball game, the 2 big tight ends. LSU makes their substitutions. Extra defensive linemen. Crowd on their feet. 4th down and a little more than 1. And somebody moved on the offensive line. The defensive lineman almost encroached. He got back, and then the offense moved.
Red ball. Ball start. Number 74 on the offense. 5 yards. It remains 4th down.
Jason Perdue.
5 yards for ball start.
Whew. Now this may change the call.
6.
Does change the call.
But now, Mike, he's still not sending in. Of course, they're a long way here. This would be a 50-yard attempt. Remember, they got to take it down to the 27-yard line. Here comes the crowd again. Right up the middle, gets the pass away, and it's incomplete. Corey Webster had the cover. And again, Kyle Williams with some really good pressure inside.
Corey Webster, who missed a tackle in a key drive, is all over my cast. Ball thrown behind. Saban knows that his football team now has given the offense pretty good field position where they would have been if you punt the football.
And it should have given them a mental lift the way that defense has played here in the second half. Justin Vincent, they pitch it back to him, tries to cut it back in as he comes back into traffic. That is a nice defensive play by Davidson. Kevin Davidson, a senior out of Tuscumbia, Alabama.
Ron, the reason the run is tough to do is because these two corners right here, Williams and Bronner, can shut down wide receivers that allow the other 9 defensive players to play the run on the inside. When you have two corners that can lock down on the outside, well, you can do a lot of things defensively.
Jamarcus Russell off balance, still throws the pass complete, and that's Vincent, and he is stopped just across the 35, so it's going to be third down LSU. They need to take it out to the 43-yard line, and Trent Bray was still another tackle. We will check on the number of tackles that he has, but Bray has been truly outstanding tonight. Well, tonight's key stat is brought to you by Burger King, having their way. Defense has held LSU 2 of 12 on third down conversions this evening.
And this one might be the most important right here.
Yeah, you're right. With 11-15.
2 and 13.
Talked about Bray. He's got 9 tackles tonight. Russell standing tall in the pocket. Ball is incomplete. Pretty good hit right there on Joe Adai, and he finally gets up. Took a pretty good shot.
They'll hit you. The Beavers defense are gnawing on LSU's players.
Eric Anderson, the redshirt freshman out of Phoenix, is the guy who came up with that big hit.
Beavers, they can chew, right? They chew through the wood. They're chewing through LSU's receivers.
Remember this, LSU only gave up 17 touchdowns in 13 ball games last year. They've given up 2 here tonight. Here's the kick. Driving spiral, far and away the best one tonight. Spiral will turn over at the 18. Bedard gets by 1 and does not get by 2 and 3. Stopped at the 25-yard line, so we'll take a timeout. 15-7. Oregon State continues to lead. Anderson, play action. Now under pressure, throws this one way downfield and way out of bounds.
Ron, you talk about the significance of this football game. We saw USC last week. They came back in the second half. LSU on the ropes at this point in the football game. So the number 3 spot is shaky.
You are right. We'll see if the defense can come up big again. They did on the last series. Second down and 10. Running play. Breaks 1 tackle. Falls forward for maybe a yard. And it's going to be third down and long, Oregon State.
The problem with the Beaver offense is they're not able to run the ball at will. And they have to take time off this clock. So every time you throw and you get an incomplete pass, this stops that clock. But that's their game. Their game is throwing the football. With number 14, Derek Anderson, the key.
Here we go. Third down. Need to take it to the 35.5-yard line. Tigers showing blitz, and here they come off the right side. Anderson steps up, going to be sacked.
Wisely, because he didn't try to force the football. LSU coming with a blitz. Lionel Turner, number 58, gets blocked, comes off the block, makes the hit on Derek Anderson.
Turner and Landry combining on the stop, and here comes the punt. Palescu standing back at the 10-yard line.
Special teams, I think they're short one. One man on Oregon State's punt team.
They're coming right up the middle. And boy, how did he get it off?
I don't know.
It had to have gone right between somebody's arms.
We're going to take a timeout. It looked as though that Hester had it, but he did not. 31 yards in the kick. Right now, they're sitting at 168 on the evening. Oregon State, 282. Jamarcus Russell back in the pocket. Rips it over the middle. Boy, he had him open and threw it behind Bo. Reese Davis, let's check back with you.
Okay, Ron, and we'll first take a peek at Toledo and Minnesota. 14-7, Gophers on top. This is their new quarterback, Ryan Cupido, finding Ernie Wheelwright. That's right in his wheelhouse. Wheelwright takes it in. Gophers on top, 21-7. They're still in the first quarter. Notre Dame and BYU, the Cougars just went into the end zone seconds ago. That game's on ESPN2 right now. We'll bring it to ESPN as soon as you guys are done.
Okay, Reese, thanks very much. Our situation, 15-7, Oregon State on top. Second down, they go with a run, and it's Ali Broussard who will be stopped after a gain of a couple. Hit by Swigert.
The comparison to the quarterbacks, Marcus Randall started off cold, 5-15. Jamarcus Russell, 6 of 17, but led his team to the one score.
Yep.
Tonight.
Ben Siegert on that last tackle. Mispronounced his name. I apologize. Sophomore out of Glendale, Arizona. LSU third down conversions, only 2 of 13. Right here, they need to take it to the 36-yard line. Russell steps up. He lost the handle on the ball. I believe it's been recovered by Oregon State. They'll say incomplete forward pass.
Boy, I tell you, it looked like it slipped out.
Yep.
Of his hands before he threw the football, where he showed bad snap. See the movement?
I don't think anybody hit it, did he?
Yeah, no, he just slipped out of his hand. I don't think that was a pass. I think that was a fumble.
Chris Jackson with his 7th punt of the night. High pass with over his head. Boy, has the composure to get it off, and
Paul did is juggled down to the 17-yard line. Whoa, this has not been a great night for special teams, has it?
That Mike Riley's going to look at that fumble and say, that cost us a lot of field position yardage.
So 26 yards in the punt. Take a timeout. 8:34. Justin Vincent. They send him back inside. Behind a blocker. Has 5, 6, maybe 7. Let's call it 6. Trying to cross him up and also bring him back a little closer to a base defense.
Yeah, spread them out to run. Reduce their front and make them get some men in coverage so you can run the football. Keep your eye on number 90, Bill Swancutt. Andrew Whitworth, number 76, the offensive tackle, will be doing just that.
Vincent's got 47 yards, Mike, on 14 carries. Gets it again. Hit hard at the line of scrimmage. He's not going to have it now. They're going to have a third down about 1.5 yards. Siegert steps up into the pocket to make a tackle.
Nick Saban, at this point, is thinking 2 downs to pick up this first down. The 2 runs. I believe they'll still run this football here, try to pick up the first down.
The clock is really running away now. 5 minutes and 20 seconds left.
Oregon State's offense tonight, 180 yards, average 288 yards in 2003.
They got the first down as he takes it off the right side. That's Joseph Adai on the carry. That'll stop the clock for a moment at the 5:01 mark. Siegert again with another tackle.
Trying to help the redshirt freshman quarterback with the running game. You have a veteran offensive line led by Ben Wilkerson, the center. You turn over the football game to that line.
Early Doucette comes out to the right side. Keep an eye on him, the big freshman. out of St. Martinville. Play action. Here comes pressure. Russell runs away from it. Now throws the ball. It is too tall. Boy, if he gets that down, as Siegert was the man coming with the pressure. He gets that down. Skylar Green still had position on the defensive back.
Shows you what an athlete Jamarcus Russell is. Feels the pressure from the backside, sprints out under control and throws the ball just a little bit high. Houston on coverage, number 5.
Yeah, Siegert had off-season shoulder surgery, and boy, he's not playing like it here in this fourth quarter. He has really been tough. Russell gets it out there, has it complete. That's enough for the first down to Bo, and he'll stop the clock at the 4.5-minute mark. It's a gain of 14, and nobody is leaving this stadium.
Easy throw for Jamarcus Russell, hitting Dwayne Bowe on a flat route. He's working against a defensive back, Keith Ellison, the linebacker. When you don't play a nickel defense, Ron, you're sitting in there with linebackers against receivers, and they're working on Ellison.
Play action. Look back to his right. Now asking for somebody to help out, and he will fight his way forward to the 26-yard line. A gain about 1.5 yards, maybe two. Pollard was there to stop him.
Pollard is an outstanding linebacker. Go back to the 2 missed extra points. Become very big. Jamarcus Russell down. Cramp?
I tell you, it does look like it, yeah.
Yep, limping as he tried to get away from the rush.
See, and then it came across the back of his legs, and this is when he tries to get up, and it's like that's when the cramp really jumped on him, and he tries to stretch out and touch his toes right there. Marcus Randall, boy, and they are going to get a delay of game penalty. Randall sets in the pocket, gets his pass off, underthrown, and he caught it. A dive. How many times have you seen it when a ball is underthrown? The defensive backs run past the guy who catches the ball as they're trying to continue their cover.
Ron, I want to go back to a dive. Comes out of the backfield against the linebacker, Trent Bray, number 44. And you're right, Adai does a good job of coming back. But what I want to talk about is Marcus Randall. He came off the bench after being benched and makes a big-time throw.
Inside the 10-yard line. First and goal, LSU Tigers. Randall rolls the pocket. He's got a man there. Didn't get it off. He'll run it to the 5-yard line and then step out of bounds. Can't take a sack in this position. Right up in the middle, too tall, incomplete, and the receiver is down. Early Doucette is down about 4 yards deep in the end zone.
To the left side.
Marcus Randall, and they get it back in the middle, a dive down to the 3, down to the 2. Tackled.
Russell to the left side. Nobody's open now. They are. Overthrown. He had Skylar Green alone in the corner of the end zone and just tossed it over his head. My goodness. Skylar Green was there. Jamarcus Russell waited, baited the defenders, and then lofted it too much.
He saw him and just his anxiety, and just he got too excited and put too much under it. She could pop out a sock.
Home opener the following. Has no timeouts. Skylar Green is not in the game after the injury, and the throw is a little bit short of early Doucette. Marcus Russell threw that one
a little too high,
well,
too much air.
Didn't have a whole lot of plant either. Just sort of flicked it out there. And Savvy Piscitelli, who already has picked off one, almost got another one. Ben Wilkerson comes up a little gimpy.
They can ill afford to lose his services. He is the anchor of that offensive wall. See perhaps someone roll back on him. You can see he went down, and Piscitelli, early Doucette, went from offense to defense to prevent an interception.
Tigers have to throw on every down. Outside blitz coming. Vincent can't make the catch. Russell fires it over the middle. Caught by Dwayne Bowe. Trying to get to the sideline. Can't do it. But the clock will stop momentarily after the first down at the 38. But don't you go away. There are still 79 seconds left, and that is a big third down conversion for the Tigers.
DeMarcus Russell sets to throw. Over the middle, got his man, and it's Bowe again. 10, 5, touchdown, LSU! Looking it over. 2-point conversion coming. Trying to tie it at 15. 1:05 left. Russell steps up. He's going to run it. He's got it. We're tied. He's going to run it at the 5. Touchdown, Marcus Randall.
Good play call. Quarterback draw, reminiscent of John Elway and the Broncos when they got inside the 5-yard line.
Extra point attempt. Up, and he's got it.
Marcus Randall runs the quarterback draw, gets a good block by his running back.
Big part in this overtime. LSU 22-15. Now it's the Beavers' turn. Deep over the middle. Got a man, and it's overthrown. It'll be second down and 10. Mike Cass, the intended receiver.
The go-to guy, Mike Cass.
In the ball game. Second and 10 from the 25. Play action. Got a pass, and it is incomplete. In and out of his hands. Wow, Corey Webster had fallen down.
A lot
really
of
a good effort by Hawkins.
Yeah,
and
a lot of bumping going on there, Ron, on that reception. Jesse Daniels working against Josh Hawkins. Corey Webster, I'm sorry.
LSU shows blitz right at the middle. Here they come. The pass. They got to take it inside the 15-yard line or to the 15 to hold on to the football. Otherwise, LSU wins in the first overtime.
Pass right here.
Anderson back in the pocket. Pressure is on. Got it away. Touchdown, Oregon State. It's Joe Newton. Let's play a second overtime. 19 yards on the play.
Yeah, Ernie Banks is right. Let's play two. Joe Newton, the tight end, has been a big part of this offense all night. The all-important extra point.
Well, actually, I guess I was taking a little too much for granted there after we banged the post on.
Yeah, Ernie's. Ernie's waiting until after this extra point.
Cerna with the extra point attempt, trying to send us to that second overtime. Ball is down. He missed it. I don't believe it. He missed the third one, and LSU wins in overtime.
Ron, you feel sorry for Cerna.
Look at Coach Rada. He's trying to call a timeout. Isn't he?
Yes. He wants a timeout. And the sideline this year, the head coach can call a timeout.
That's exactly right. Ball is down, and he just pushes this one badly, Mike.
You feel sorry for the place kicker.
Not even close on that one. The third missed extra point. Let's go down to the sideline. And Aaron Andrews. Aaron.
Ron, thanks. I'm here right now with Nick Saban. Coach, what was going through your mind as Oregon State was getting ready to kick that extra point?
Well, you know, we weren't going to lose the game on it. I was thinking about what we're going to do next on offense. So, you know, it's a real tribute to our players and our program that they didn't give up. I thought Oregon State's team played a fantastic game. The quarterback was outstanding. We obviously have a lot of work to do to be a good football team, but I think it showed a lot of character to come back in the game.
You make a big change coming into the second half. You change up your quarterback. Why did you decide to do that, Coach?
Well, I just felt like we just didn't have any rhythm in the first half, and, you know, I just wanted to change the tempo a little bit and really did it to try to settle down, you know, Marcus Randall. So DeMarcus played pretty well. We put a drive together, so we stuck with him.
Coach, thanks.
Thank you.
Ron, back to you.
Okay, so our final score in overtime. LSU comes from behind 22-21.